Hi everyone, this is Elena Paraskeva and welcome to another one of my editing tutorials. For those of you who are not very familiar with my work, I am an international fashion, portrait and commercial photographer with clients from around the world, the US, United Kingdom, Italy, Australia. My work has been featured on the pages and covers of many photography publications. I've been distinguished in several international competitions, Lens Culture Portrait Awards, Digital Camera Photographer of the Year, and so on and so forth. I want to be using this channel to give you short but sweet tutorials on how to refine your editing process, because I am a firm believer of the fact that 50% of the work is done in camera, but the rest of it is done in Photoshop or Affinity Photo, whichever you use, to really perfect that image that you had in mind. So today we will be using, and let me get this out of the way, minimize it so you can see the image, a recent image that I created. Very romantic, birds, hummingbirds, and drops, and all of that good stuff. And I want to show you how you can lighten up this image to make it airy. Now, this is the finished image, but I will get rid of the part that I'm going to show you. So I left this a little bit dark on purpose to show you what we can do with it. Say you have such an image in mind, usually an image with flowers and birds or something romantic requires a different editing from something dramatic with lots of shadows. My lighting for this particular one, as you can tell, was done on purpose so as not to create shadows. So it had I had a light on both sides of the model and in front of the model, big V-flats and a big softbox to keep shadows at a minimum. Despite that, however, because of the contrast that the camera provides and all of that, the image for me is still a little bit dark. There's too many blacks in it. Now, your first thought when you see this is, well, we can increase the exposure, and you can do that. I'll show you with curves. So let's say we can increase, so this is the curves, let's say, and you see as you drag it up, you can definitely increase the exposure of this image. But that's not what I meant by making it more airy and making it feel lighter. If you do that with curves, you got to be careful. Here we have a lot of white, the flowers. You're going to be overexposing then your highlights, and that's not a good thing. We don't want that. So there is a much better way than using your curves. And this is where blend modes come into play. So let's create an empty layer, change the blend mode to soft light, take our brush and sample the skin, somewhere on the skin of the model. Let's say here. Okay, you see this here, it changed to a taupe color. So then what you can do, I will reduce the hardness, make it very soft. Pass all over the model's face and hair. And I will actually do this for the entire image. It doesn't affect the birds or the birds actually. I don't want the birds affected. So the layer, I placed it below the layers of birds. So everything I do, every change that I do affects everything except those birds. So automatically you see it has lightened the image. Now, just for the sake of contrast, I'm going to create a mask and actually remove the effect from the eyes. Actually, not that much. I will reduce opacity. Okay. Not that much. I don't want the whole effect to the eyes because it loses contrast. Okay, so, and then we're gonna go reduce opacity for the whole image. So you see the difference is actually dramatic. Now, if you wanted to be more exact, you could leave the flowers untouched. You can just, select the model itself and apply that. But I wanted an overall effect. I'm actually going to reduce the opacity a little bit more. And then what you can do, you can duplicate this layer, delete the mask, invert it, Command I. And if you want to go a little bit more, then just, do a touch up. I'm going to do opacity 100%. And do the hair a little bit more. Just especially here where there's darkness. The eyebrows, I want them a little bit lighter. And also, you can get rid of some. For example, here you see I feel the skin. This is a perfect way to smooth out the color differences in the skin. I see over here it was a little bit gray to me, so I applied a little bit of this effect in this area, maybe a little bit here. I'm actually going to reduce opacity for that and increase my brush size so it's done in a couple of strokes. So let's see before and after. And let's group those two together to see the entire effect. So it does make a huge difference to your image. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and share this video, and there's a lot more to come. Thank you. Bye bye, guys.